Batman Returns once again directed by Tim Burton, sequel to Batman 1989. This film came out in 1992, and boy was it a controversial film when it came out. Look, I personally love it, but for a kids film, it was very dark. Like, if you've seen the film, like I used to be terrified of the Penguin in this film. As I mentioned, you've seen the film. Like, there's some major scenes like hurts, like when he bites the dude's nose off, like when he's dying and he's spilling out blood. That creeped me out as a kid. I was scared of Penguin. And then, from what I've heard, was the controversy with his action figures. I don't know that much about that. Apparently, was something went wrong with that. They couldn't merchandise the film. A lot of parents were complaining, and so very controversial film. But as I've grown up, I've come to love this film. Definitely one of my favorite Batman films. Every time during the Christmas season, I always watch this film. I actually remember I used to have the DVD. I lost that DVD, and I saw the Blu-ray at Best Buy. I'm like, I gotta buy this film because it was like $5 or something like that, and I'm like, $5, I'm buying this. I love this film, but as much as I love this film, it is not a perfect Batman movie. Michael Keaton, of course, is back as Batman, and he's still killing people. Like, he sets up a dude on fire, he puts a bomb around this big guy and blows him up. Heck, I know it wasn't his fault, but he even kills the Penguin in here. Then again, seeing how this man was a killer, did he actually, was it actually an accident that he killed Penguin? Anyway, speaking of Penguin, Danny DeVito's Penguin. As I mentioned, I used to be scared of him as a kid, but as I've grown older, I just love this version of Penguin. I love what Tim Burton did with the character. Got the amazing makeup going on, and of course, the character himself is just a really tragic character. Like, he was ditched by his parents when he was a kid, so you kind of sympathize with him. You feel bad for him that like all this stuff he's doing. Like, you understand him. Like, obviously you don't agree with his methods, of course, like putting explosives on penguins or kidnapping babies, but still, just you can really understand why his character feels this way. Also, can someone explain to me why is Gotham City sewers filled with penguins? I don't know. I just never understood that. Why are there penguins underneath Gotham City? And then, of course, this film you also got Michelle Pfeiffer as the best Catwoman ever, my personal favorite, not just in movies, my favorite Catwoman ever. Just like Penguin, I love what Burton did with the character in here. And of course, they get that great, like what the scene where Selena returns from being killed and resurrected. Pretty weird scene. But then you get like a scene when she returns to the apartment, she starts going crazy. That scene, I just love it. You can see a transition of becoming like this socially awkward woman to this crazy and trying to seek her revenge on her boss because he's the one that killed her, quote unquote, of course, because she comes back to life. Speaking of which, you got Max Schreck also played by the great Christopher Walken, and look, Catwoman and Penguin obviously the main villains of this movie, but if you think about it, Max is technically the main villain of the film. Like, he's the reason everything's going down. He created Catwoman, and he's pretty much one of the reasons Penguin goes crazy later on in the film, and also tries to take his revenge on him. Other more positive things I have to talk about this film. Every time Batman and Catwoman are on screen, it is amazing. Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer have great chemistry. Not only as both Catwoman and Batman, also as Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle. You get the awesome Batmobile chase scene. That was really well made when Penguin hijacks the Batmobile. It's pretty cool. And of course, the great scene, Penguin dies, like the penguins like drag him to the ocean and like he ends up drowning. That was such a well made scene as well. And of course you get the really great ending where like also Catwoman is supposedly dead, like Bruce Wayne's all sad, and then he stops the car, stops the car, and he picks up the cat, and then as Alfred and Bruce drive away, You got the camera going up to the rooftops of Gotham. Bat Signal goes up, and Catwoman comes out, revealing that she survived. I love that scene too. Gives me chills every time I see it. And also, just like Batman 1989, this film soundtrack is also amazing, probably the second best. So as for Batman Returns, I'm probably gonna give it 4 penguins. As much as I wish I could give it a perfect, because like I mentioned a million times already, I love this movie. It's not a great Batman movie, of course. As I mentioned, Batman kills people, and of course, it has some really scary moments. So it's not a perfect film, but still enjoyable one that I look forward to watching every year during the Christmas season. Of course, when this film came out, as I mentioned, it wasn't received very well, which led to Tim Burton being fired. Which is a shame because I would have loved to have seen what he would have done with another Batman film. Like, I'm pretty sure Billy Williams would have come back as Two-Face. As I mentioned, the Batman movie, the design of what he would have looked like. Heck, there were even rumors that Max, when he died, that was actually already supposed to be Two-Face, and he wouldn't have died. He wouldn't just survive, but have become Two-Face. Honestly, that sounds like an awesome idea right there. Then there were also rumors that Marlon Wayans was gonna be Robin. I would have liked to have seen that, and Robin freaking Williams was gonna be Riddler. Look, I love Jim Carrey and what he did in Batman Forever, but just saying Robin Williams sounds a million times better for Riddler. Heck, there are actually even rumors that I would have gotten a Catwoman spin-off. That also, I would have loved to have seen that too. Probably sounds a lot better than the Catwoman movie we got a few years later. Which I'm not gonna talk about that movie, but it was so bad I didn't even finish watching it. But yes, all that sounds pretty awesome. Unfortunately, Warner Brothers messed up, and what we ended up getting wasn't a very good movie. But luckily, before we got to that, we got a great masterpiece of a film before that.